It's a Married Channels podcast.
Hey.
A podcast where a married couple talks about TV shows and movies.
Yep.
And we have a TV show, a couple TV shows.
Yep.
And a couple documentaries.
Sweet.
And both documentaries are movies, which you don't really see much anymore. It seems like the thing is to do the docu-series.
Right, where they break it up.
Yeah, but these are movies.
I kind of like it all at once, but
right?
We really don't make it through it all at once. So we kind of make our own docu-series.
What?
We kind of have to stop because I usually fall asleep.
Oh.
So we kind of watch it.
You didn't for these.
No,
right?
but I don't think we watched them all in one sitting.
Right.
We broke it up over a few nights.
Yeah, that's usually how that goes.
Yeah.
Just by virtue of life.
And time.
Kids.
Yeah, availability. Like,
I can't tell you how many times we start watching something at like 8 o'clock and then gets interrupted by a kid at 9 o'clock and then...
Yeah.
And then, you're tired, and I get it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, we're done watching what we're done because Jody's going to sleep.
That's right. Well, I'm sitting there, and there's nothing entertaining me, so I'm going to sleep.
I totally get it. I blame the child.
It's not just that. Like, I'm getting up too early, too. No sleep. So,
yeah.
I'm tired.
Well, let's get into our first show, shall we?
Yeah, we made it through some stuff, though.
It is Task on HBO.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo, Tom Pelphrey.
Yeah.
Martha Plimpton's in there. Interesting. I like to see the renaissance of the 80s actors,
Yeah.
Maybe season 2 we'll get Molly Ringwald. But Task is a show about a dude who's robbing these drug houses. And what's interesting is the trailer. Remember watching the trailer?
Yes.
It was very much set up as a cat and mouse type of thing. FBI guy going after this dude and his crew who are robbing these drug houses.
Yeah, it did not do this show justice.
No.
Like, it did not. The trailer didn't match what this show was about and what it was. And it kind of... almost like in my mind ahead of time, I was kind of like, I'm not going to like this one because of the trailer. You know what I mean? So don't judge a book by its cover, really, truly.
No, and that's not a detriment here. And I don't know if I would say it was a bait and switch because I don't think it was that. But yeah, the trailer definitely tells you it's going to be, catching the bad guy, good guy versus bad guy thing.
They got the scary mask.
Yeah, there's a motorcycle gang in there. But then you watch the show, and it's a little bit of that, but it's mostly the other stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. Like, I thought, it's like the cat and mouse game was just the foundation for the rest of the show, which is this very character-driven, character analyzing type of show.
There's so many layers to this onion. And, like I said, the trailer does not give you any kind of idea what you're in for when you watch this one. So, there's layers with grief and, people kind of dealing with that. A lot of people dealing with that. And a lot of them in the same kind of social circles and worlds. It's kind of interesting how people's paths cross,
Yeah, and there's a lot of themes with fatherhood and, like you said, grief, loss, children, raising kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never... So, Tom, Mark Ruffalo's character, has 2 adopted kids. One committed a heinous act because of their mental deficiencies, essentially killing Tom's wife and his mother. But you get into it never occurred to me with the adoption world, and it was put very, very profoundly by the adopted daughter. Mm-hmm. And I'm paraphrasing, she always felt like she had to be thankful.
Yeah, be grateful.
Be grateful.
Yeah.
She couldn't have normal reactions and emotions with her adoptive parents because she had to always be grateful.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was brought on by him or his wife, Tom and his wife, but you never think about that.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of thankful for that,
Yeah, they kind of showed it from a different perspective, what that's like for that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the other side of that.
And the show's from the same guy, Brad Inglesby, who did Mare of Easttown, which was another great show.
Yeah.
This
has a great cast, great acting.
Yeah.
All the way, Grasso, Lizzie,
Yeah.
Aaliyah, all of them, they were so great. You know, that supporting cast too, and main characters too. Maeve, I've never seen her before in anything. Some of these actors I've never seen, and they were just amazing. So.
No, and it was interesting. So we watched the first episode, maybe the second episode. Then we watched the after episode kind of where the actors talk about the show and the characters.
And the scenes and yeah.
And if I had to guess, if there's, we'll say 8 main characters, 6 of them are like Irish or English.
Yes.
And that's so interesting.
It was interesting, yes.
And because they not only have to be put on an American accent, it has to be a Delco accent from Pennsylvania, which is a lot of water and, stuff like that,
Yep.
So I don't know what the task is on that, if no pun intended, as far as learning that dialect. But
you get a voice coach who helps you, or you spend time in a region where people talk like that, and you listen and you observe and you study,
No, it is. I get that, but it's like the Delco accent to me is very interesting because it's not super obvious.
Right.
It's very subtle.
Yes.
Like I said, water. Like if I just meant that in conversation, I don't know if you'd catch that.
Right.
Whereas if I was doing a British, Welsh type of thing, you might catch it. But so it's interesting to me, and maybe it's just the career I'm in, why that's very interesting. But anyway, I thought interesting in general that they cast so many English and Irish actors.
Yeah.
And they pulled it off. They are all great.
Yeah, they did amazing. And yeah, those I love those behind the scenes kind of after the episode where they do talk about that stuff more in depth, and it's just interesting to hear, the writer's perspective and the cast and just kind of how they talk about these characters that they've really immersed themselves into this world of, and it's just kind of fascinating. I love that. You get to see how the art's created,
Yeah, and it didn't take anything away from the show. It didn't spoil anything. But let me play a clip. This is one of the later episodes. Robbie, one of the guy who was robbing the drug houses, he's taken Tom essentially prisoner. Hostage.
Yeah.
And Tom tells him about how he and his wife met.
She was a patient's rights advocate, and I was a priest at the time, giving last rites to patients.
She converted you from the priesthood?
It wasn't like that. I was the one that did all the chasing. Susan wasn't very fond of me. She was an atheist, and we argued quite a bit over what to say to people who are dying. She believed that this is our only life.
I'm Team Susan. I never once felt God in my life. And I think people want to believe there's more than this, because if this is really all there is, then that's too fucking depressing for some people.
And it's interesting that they touch on the religious stuff and some existential things, but not too much.
I got so much more depth from that character just from that scene. Like, that he's just expressing, like, his life has been full of hardship and trauma. Yeah, Robbie. Yeah. And, it's not been an easy road for him. And he's just trying to make his life better for him and his kids. And, he thought that this was the way to do that. It had very much a little bit of, like, Breaking Bad vibes. Like, it's just somebody doing something wrong, but for the greater good, Yeah. And
agreed.
It's sad and, yeah. So good, though.
Yeah. No, Task is a really good show.
Yeah.
I'd highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Has a little bit of everything. You got some action. You got some, there's some touches of humor here and there. Not a lot, but I like the shows that blend character development and introspection with, kind of a more digestible thing to chew on, which is the cat and mouse game.
Yeah, there's some suspense going on there, too. There's some moments where it's just like, I forgot to breathe.
Oh, yeah.
Breathe. Like, are they going to get caught? Is this person going to get caught? I don't want to spoil anything.
The thing in the forest, one of the later episodes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good. But Task is definitely a recommend list show, I would say.
Absolutely.
Absuppository. Or Lulu. Moving on to our next show. It's the documentary about John Candy. famous comedic actor, sometimes dramatic actor. The documentary's on Amazon Prime Video. John Candy, I Like Me. And it was interesting. I went into this just because I'm a John Candy fan, not necessarily because I felt like I was going to get anything new out of it, but I felt like we got something new out of it.
Yeah.
Which is to say that I didn't realize he was such a devoted father and loved his kids so much. And I want to play this clip here up front because, and they had they played a couple clips of him being interviewed by people.
Yeah.
Where his weight came up and it was kind of like this backdoor kind of, hey, you're fatty. Why don't you get skinny? So here's one of those interviews from the documentary.
You're very handsome. But I wondered if you did indeed become kind of a leading man, svelte look guy. Could you have? Is it true that don't you think everyone loves a fat man?
I guess.
Why?
I don't know. I guess they're harmless. I'm not sure. No, if I lost a lot of weight, I don't think it would affect me that much.
But it wouldn't change your style, or it wouldn't change your kind of your kind of humor.
No, I really never play on it anyway. I didn't play on it much in the movie.
No, you didn't. But you played on something.
It's very obvious, It's very obvious to do fat jokes, I look at guys like Gleason, He never really. Everyone else did them on him.
Yes.
He reacted to them, But he never really did any himself.
You can almost hear in his voice him saying, "Oh, get me out of this."
Yes, he's so uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
And shame on them back then for even that being a thing to talk about. Like, what a great career this man had. We all grew up watching him, loving him. He had such endearing qualities about him. This documentary shows so much of that and what kind of character and person he was. And then to be treated so poorly by media and journalists and people in interviews, it's just like, I know it was a different time, but it's just so sad to me. And you can feel that he's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that was one of at least two interviews where somebody kind of brought up the weight thing, and they weren't talking to him as a person. They were talking to him as like a stereotype almost. And it's just, it's uncomfortable, but God bless him. He was very graceful, and, he tried to answer the question. He didn't storm off the set, or be like, I don't know. He was a better man than I.
Right.
I would have been like, so why are we talking about my weight now?
Yeah, he was very patient and kind and tried to uncomfortably answer it, but move past that, So, I loved it, though. I didn't remember a lot of those interviews or, kind of him, appearing on talk shows and things like that. I don't remember a lot of that. Obviously, I remember his work and his movies and things like that. But it was nice to see some of those things from the press during that time of those successes for him. So, it was pretty cool.
I don't think I saw any interviews of John Candy back in the day.
Right? I don't recall any.
What's interesting is I used to think, so John Candy, we know, died at 42?
Like 43, I believe.
Something like that, but way too young.
Yeah.
And it was always attributed to the fact that he was obese and he smoked a lot.
Yeah.
And so my initial thought going into the documentary about John Candy was that he, died for those reasons, but I didn't know his dad died when John was 5.
I know.
And he died of like some genetic heart stuff, heart problems. So I kind of I wonder if, let's say John Candy was a svelte 220 at 6'2" or whatever, however tall he was.
Yeah. With
no smoking.
Right.
He might have died young anyway.
Right. So it depends on whatever this, I don't even recall what they said it was, whatever the cardiovascular condition was that, some people are just going to have that, even if, like you said, the lifestyle factors are,
right.
Clean, eats clean, exercises, all of that. Like some people have certain cardiac conditions that, they that would happen anyway. So
yeah,
I didn't know that either. And it's interesting, how he grew up and, just kind of seeing more of that part of him too, and how he kind of got where he got. So.
Yeah. And what's also interesting is it's by virtue of, and I've seen this story before. He was like an athlete, got injured.
Yeah.
And decided to pursue this other thing that looked interesting, which was improv.
Yeah.
And being on stage.
Theater. Yeah.
And lo and behold, he turned into a superstar.
Oh, yeah. Crazy where life takes you, right?
Yeah, he jacked up his knee or something, and within 10 years, he's starring in movies. And
yeah.
But, it's an interesting ride. It reaffirmed. So it wasn't until like a couple years ago when I watched Planes, Trains, Automobiles before a couple years ago, I'd watched it maybe 5 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it didn't really hit me until a couple years ago, just how good dramatically he was.
Yeah.
Like he had your heart in his hands towards the end of Planes, Trains, Automobiles.
Yep. That was so good.
Like almost tear worthy.
Yeah.
And, kudos to John Candy he could have been doing a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
Like he did some drama. We saw him in JFK. Interesting role there.
Yep.
But
there's some good stuff even in Uncle Buck though. There's some heartfelt, he cares about those kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, there's definitely some underlying stuff there in everything he does. Even in like Summer Rental, he's a devoted dad and family guy, So it's always kind of there if you look for it. It's not just the funny guy stuff.
Yeah, and in real life too, he was a good guy. Cared, seemingly. And I wish I pulled the audio, but Macaulay Culkin, of course, from Home Alone, and his co-star in Uncle Buck, that great moment where Macaulay talks about how, like, John could see Macaulay's dad, who was a grade A asshole stage dad, being a jerk to Macaulay.
Yeah.
And John Candy, without being intrusive and in, like, getting into his business, says, like, you okay?
Yeah. Yep.
Just kind of asking him, like, checking the temperature on Macaulay, who at the time was 8 years old or something.
Like, hey, just so you know, there's a grown up here that does care about you.
Yeah.
In a kind of subtle John kind
without
of way.
Being like, your dad's being a jerk,
right?
And you can talk to me about anything,
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's an extra type of level of caring, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, by all accounts, John Candy was a great guy.
I forgot about the hockey team stuff too, and I don't know, like, did he get a lot of kind of
hockey team?
Yeah, him buying into the
the football team, Toronto Argonauts.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
not hockey. I'm sorry.
They didn't get into that very much. They touched on it a little bit.
Yeah,
I remember seeing somewhere else how that was very stressful for him because they said that John was very much. He was not like so he loved football. Yeah, more so than hockey. Which is kind of odd for a Canadian.
Yeah.
And he was all in on Toronto as a part owner.
Okay.
And that he was involved with it. He went to the games, flying back and forth between movie sets, LA and Toronto for the games or whatever. That took a toll on him.
Sure.
And when John, and I'm trying to remember this correctly from the documentary, when he was involved in something, he was very involved. Like he was all in.
Yeah.
And for somebody with his weight and, smoking, all that travel.
Sure.
That's going to take a toll.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Gone too soon, though. Great talent. Great man.
Absolutely.
Great documentary about his life.
Yeah. John Candy, I Like Me. It's on Prime Video. Definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a comedy fan or a John Candy fan, I think you'll really like it.
Yeah. I mean, if you grew up in the 80s,
sure,
watching his movies. Absolutely.
All right. Oops. What am I doing? Another documentary.
Ooh.
Netflix, The Perfect Neighbor. If you don't know the story, this woman who lived in a neighborhood just filled with young children, we'll say anywhere from 1 to 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know what? So the premise is this woman who's in her 60s, lives by herself, is constantly calling the cops on these kids who are playing in, quote, her yard.
It's not her yard.
Yeah.
First of all.
That's why I said, quote.
Uh-huh.
And, she's just had it with them from the get-go.
Yeah. And let's just say this is a nice neighborhood where it's lovely. The kids are out playing with each other. After they get their homework done, they go outside and play football together. Like, that's a lovely scene. And
that's like something out of the 50s.
Everybody looks out for each other's kids, and everybody knows each other. And it's the way that communities and neighborhoods should be, in my opinion.
Yeah. So these kids
a safe place for kids to have that outlet and get that energy out.
I know, and that's kind of struck me as like, oh, that's still a thing? Kids still go outside and play with each other?
Well, and that's what some of the cops responding kept saying, like, hey, this is great. They're doing this. We'd rather have them doing this than other things we see kids doing. Yeah, like, come on. This is okay for them to do.
I was a little gobsmacked by it because, at least our situation, that's not a thing, really, No. Kids don't go out and play in the yard, and maybe it's just the neighborhood in general that we're at.
I make my kids go out and play in the yard. I don't know. I think some kids do.
Yeah, but we had to push Evie a little bit, though.
Well, she's a teenager now. The teenagers don't play outside.
No, I know. I meant back in the day.
No, she played outside a lot.
Okay.
Usually, I had to bribe her to come in.
Okay.
She played outside a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's recency bias that
I think so, because, now she's a teenager and the sun is...
like a vampire.
Like a vampire. Yeah, she cannot emerge from her room.
The only light is the glow from my screen. No, but, so these kids are out playing, having a good time, and, she is constantly calling the police. The cops are constantly showing up.
Yeah.
Taking reports. They're going over, they go to her, and she's like, these kids... they're driving me crazy. And then they go over and talk to the kids and the parents, and the kids are just as delightful as can be. And they're
so
kids.
Cute.
They're cute.
Yes.
And it gets tragic because one of the mothers who, so what is it? The lady, I forget her name, Gail.
Which lady?
The main
mom
culprit.
or the Susan?
Susan, thank you. She, like, the kids are playing and she throws a roller skate at one of them.
Yes.
And the kid goes back home, tells mom.
She takes the kid's iPad and throws roller skates at them.
There we go.
And so they went and got an adult, which is what the cops instructed them to do. And the adult came over to confront Susan.
And the adult is banging on the door.
She wants her son's iPad back.
Yeah.
Can't blame her.
And
those things are expensive.
Susan, who has a gun, shoots through the door.
Yep.
Ends up killing the mom.
Yep.
And
in front of her children.
Yeah.
I mean,
one of her kids was right there.
Oh my God. This is the point in the documentary where if you're a parent, this is going to make you cry because it's really hard to watch those babies go through that trauma. So you've been warned from this mama to all the others. It will make you cry your eyes out because it's horrific to see those kids have to go through that. It's such a very sad, tragic situation, and it's wrong, and it never should have happened. I mean, I feel like, I don't know how many total calls were made, but at some point, somebody should have, like, done a protective order or no contact or something with this woman. And, you know, they'd interview, like, the moms and the kids, and, like, she's shouting racial obscenities at them and yelling at them inappropriately when, you know, and I just think it never should have got to this point. And
no, but
anyway,
but it's almost like, what do you do?
I know, right?
The cops can't do much.
I know.
I think the mom who ended up dying maybe could have filed a restraining order, but I don't know if Susan really got up to those kids very often.
She should have never have knocked on that door. That mama should have just called the cops herself and charged her with theft of the iPad and assault for the roller skates on her child.
Yeah.
You know, that woman would have sat in some jail maybe. then.
Especially in Florida, where this takes place, where they have the stand your ground laws.
Yeah.
Which, oof.
Which.
What?
Is what she was trying to maintain, that she feared for her life.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it was interesting when the cops are interrogating her, Susan, the shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Not once did she invoke her right to a lawyer.
No, she never called one, never said I want an attorney.
Not until she was charged with manslaughter and it went to trial.
Yeah.
So
it's weird to me, right?
Yeah, that's very weird. Like if you shoot somebody, even in self-defense, your first call should be a lawyer.
Right. She, I feel like she was so delusional all the time, even prior to this incident, that she lived in a totally different reality. Like, she would lie and try to make herself look like the victim every time. And I think at that point, she still thought she was in control of the situation and could still lie her way out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sorry.
No, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. That didn't happen, thankfully. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I won't spoil anything, but it turns out the way I didn't really expect.
Yeah.
The penance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So The Perfect Neighbor is on Netflix. Interesting, like it's predominantly viewed through the body cam of the police officers.
It is, and
I don't know if I've seen that before.
I don't know if I've seen that before either, but I'm glad they had all that extensive footage,
Yeah.
There's that clip. Oh, okay, maybe this is one of the happy ones, but there's a clip from the officer's body cam where the little girl goes up to the officer. She's like, "Excuse me, can you arrest her?" And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Can you arrest her? She's bossy." She wanted this other little girl to get arrested for being bossy. And I just thought it was so cute and innocent and sweet.
That's in the local statutes.
Yeah, totally.
Cannot be bossy.
Cannot be bossy.
Yeah, go check out Perfect Neighbor. It's an interesting exploration into, the legal system and dealing with neighbors and the wrong way to do it.
What I don't understand is why didn't this woman move to kind of a quiet elderly, like 55 and older community? They have those where it's quiet and children don't live there.
I'm not defending her. I will just say that, it's a lot to move. She might have been locked into a year-long lease. You don't know how much down payment she's out.
Yeah.
I guess you just kind of have to weigh how much you're willing to lose money-wise versus your sanity and peacefulness. You know what I mean?
I mean, if it really bothered me that much, if I'm her, I'd be saving up, because she said she works from home. I'd be saving up my pennies and getting out of there if it bothered me that much. I don't know. If I hated children that much. I don't understand that. Like, why stay?
I don't know. I think there's almost like an undercurrent of racism with this woman where she feels like, because those kids were predominantly black kids.
Yeah.
She probably feels like they need to know their place and be quiet and dutiful.
Ugh.
And because I am the elder white woman. And look, I'm reading a lot into that.
Yeah. But she did shout racial things at them.
She did throw some racial stuff at them. It's hard not to think of that.
Yeah.
But maybe she kind of got off on that a little bit. I don't know. Or maybe she just financially couldn't move. Maybe there's a great deal at that house.
I don't know. I think you're giving her too much compassion and credit there.
The Perfect Neighbor. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Go check it out. Or don't. Totally understand if you don't. And our final show, it's one of our favorites, Slow Horses, Season 5. I don't have much to say about Slow Horses Season 5 other than it continues to be one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
That I look forward to when there's new episodes. It's one of those shows where I can't wait for a new episode to be available. And it's only 6 episodes each season, which is a little frustrating. We've had this discussion before.
Sure.
Because it's produced out of England. That's how they do it.
Yep.
Their seasons are typically 6, whereas ours, 8 to 10, sometimes more. But,
sure.
Jackson Lamb. We found out some new stuff about Jackson Lamb, which is interesting. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything. But we got some backstory without it being put in our face.
Yeah.
About Jackson Lamb, the head of the Slough House.
Yeah, it was an interesting way to present this information without it being kind of a monologue from him.
Right.
You know? So, yeah.
That's
all I'll say.
Yeah, there was a scene, and I want to say episode 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Where he's telling the story of the Stasi, the Russian Stasi, back in Cold War.
Yeah.
In East Berlin, and some torturing that was going on. And his crew was around him while they were being held essentially hostage by some MI5 people.
Yeah. They weren't allowed to go do their job, save the world, you know.
But he's telling the story, and what's cool is he dropped these hints throughout the story that eventually his crew picked up on, so that when he finished, they all knew, okay, it's time to revolt against our captors. And
do the hints that he gave them. And I'm like, how did they know that?
I know. I almost want to go back and watch that scene again.
I want to watch that episode to see leading up to that if he had said, you know, if I ever say this phrase, you know, like, pay attention. Or, you know what I mean? Like, how... I don't know. Maybe they'd gone over that beforehand. I don't know.
I mean, it might be worth watching that whole episode again. Maybe there is something in there like that.
Yeah, because I'm like, how would they pick up what he was saying at all?
I certainly didn't.
Right?
I thought it was interesting while he was telling the story. He threw out a very specific, like, getting beat in the stomach with a fire extinguisher.
Yes.
I was like, that's very specific, and that does not sound like something
he would say,
or that people would use in a torture situation. So when it came, I'm not claiming I knew, but when it was revealed that he was dropping hints to them, that made sense. Like, oh, the fire extinguisher, okay, because one of them grabbed a fire extinguisher and hit somebody else, one of the captors on the head, whatever. But that scene, that story, kind of comes back at the end of the season, and it all ties into Jackson Lamb. I thought that was very interesting.
You know what else I love about his character?
The farts.
It's not the farts, no, but I love how he keeps coming up with new ways to insult his Joes.
Oh yeah.
And they're not just like, you know, below the belt hits. Like, there was a scene where he said, like, I'm sending my best men. And you, to River. Yes, and I was like, that's awesome. I loved it. It's just so Jackson Lamb.
I know. I love how he puts on this facade of, like, he not hates them, but just, you guys drive me nuts. If you go away and leave me alone, I'd be happy. But deep down, he cares about them.
Yes.
And they're his people.
Yep. And he takes care of them and watches after them. And...
like even Roddy Ho.
Yes.
You know, the whole reason.
He can't stand him.
Yeah, he can't stand him. Nobody can. But they all kind of, and I forget what's her name, who's like the first to be like, somebody tried to kill Roddy when nobody was believing it. Shirley. Yeah, thank you. They all care about him. And now you can make the claim that she was still in grief from what's his name getting killed last season. And she wants to make it right, quote unquote. But Jackson cares about his people, and he will go to the ends of the earth to help them or protect them. He won't tell them that.
Right. You know. You'll never get a attaboy good job from your boss here.
Yeah, his version of that would be like, oh, congrats on not fucking this one up.
Yeah, right. Like, I had to clean up your mess kind of situation, you know. So, yeah, you'll never get a good job. You saved the world, you know. But they are a smart bunch, you know. It's like MI5 doesn't get it done, but this group does, you know. I like, too, that I haven't gotten bored with each scenario, with each season. Like, you know, it's the spy world, and it's, you know, kind of some, you know, terrorism and solving those kinds of crimes and things like that behind the scenes there too. Like there's that kind of part of the show as well.
Yeah, I can't recommend the show enough. Like there's just so much there. There's funny, there's some spy work, there's action.
Great characters.
Cast. And the characters never get stale or boring. And it's always, they've done this thing where they kind of cycle through the main characters every season or two. Mm-hmm. There's only a couple that have been there from the start. I forget what's her name. She wasn't there at all this season.
Louisa, yeah.
Mm-hmm. She was on the phone with River at one point, but who knows if she'll come back. But there'll probably be somebody else coming in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they added I never know the guy in the hoodie. What's it? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like...
He had more to do this season.
Yeah, he did.
And he just comes up and just stabs the guy in the neck. He doesn't... Yeah, he doesn't say much or do much, but when he does, it's pretty impactful.
You know, and they added Emma Flight in MI5. She's kind of the...
Oh, yeah.
Blonde with Taverner.
Head of the dogs.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's interesting, the first desk guy.
Yes.
Whelan?
Yes.
His story and how he came across last season as overly ambitious, maybe not quite qualified to be first desk. Mm-hmm. And now we see like exactly why he's not qualified. Mm-hmm. But Jackson puts him in his place at the end of the season here, which is fantastic.
Yes.
Like anytime you can see Jackson Lamb kind of go get one over on somebody, it's kind of juicy.
It is kind of good.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, go get him.
Slow Horses.
Yeah, good stuff.
It's on the Apple TV service. If you do get like a Apple device, like I think you buy an Apple TV box, you get 3 months of the Apple TV stuff.
Cool.
You should go check out Slow Horses.
Yeah, absolutely.
That should be your first thing you check out.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Anything else, my love?
No, darling.
All right. That's it. For this episode of Married with Channels. A married couple talking TV shows and movies.
Yep.
Yeah, we're on Twitter. Mary W. Chans is the user account.
Share, tell your friends.
Absolutely. Until next time, thank you for listening. I love you. My name is Moose.
And I'm Jody.
See ya.
Bye.